Hey YouTube, coming at you with an Ultra League team because I finally built up the Ninetales Shadow version. Lots of dust, lots of XLs, but I want to try it. And I already used the Swampert A9 core in Great League, and I'm using it again in Ultra League, and it works. So I put in jellicent as a safe swap because I think jellicent has a lot of play in the Ultra League, right? Ever since it got surfed, it picked up like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 matches in Ultra League with that. Plus, it's an option that you can try and draw out like a Trevenant or something. Try and draw that out with the jellicent. Still do okay with Hex and Shadow Ball. Punish it with A9 and then Swampert roams free on the back. And then you kind of have answered, like again, Swampert and A9 cover each other's weaknesses quite well. So let's get into some of the battles here. So Tapu Fini on the lead. I will go into jellicent. Again, I did not even plan that, but this is kind of how you want to see this, right? Because you can still kind of force a Shadow Ball shield. You live one and throw it right back, and they're likely to shield this because I don't think they're going to want to give up switch here. And grabbing a shield is huge here. So now you can Shadow. You're probably going to have to shield at least one. Is it going to be a Shadow Ball or is it going to be... Since it's a Seed Bomb, you have to throw... Yeah, so it's a bait. You have to probably throw it quick now. If it was a Shadow Ball, you could have farmed up a bit more, but since it's Seed Bomb bait, you just kind of got to get this out of here. But now, Tapu Fini, I expect to come back in, but you're so close to a Moonblast in your Shadow. Like, this is where you just probably want to grab a shield. Now I'm going to have to take a Surf here, though. That's okay. Surf, you can live a Surf, grab a shield, or do a ton of chip damage, and then it's immediately into Swampert, and then Trevenant's gone, so Shadow Swampert should be able to hopefully sweep whatever's left over here. They are not getting out, which is fine, so I'm going to shield this because, again, Shadow Swampert is amazing, but also very glossy. And they're still not getting out, so I'm guessing they are pretty weak in the back to this. I'm guessing Galarian Stunfisk or Trevenant, not Trevenant, or Registeel, or a half-ground Gliscor. So Hydro Cannon does not quite one-shot. They're going to have to throw here. Why did they not throw? I think I probably could have just... I mean, I could have Powder Snow down because... Unless they, I think they had to go back-to-back moves, but they probably should have thrown there. Yeah, I was about to say, they're double weak to ice, so they had to kind of do something there. So Tapu Fini comes in. I'll probably just get the Moonblast off and then go into Trevenant. Again, grab a shield or just do a ton of chip damage. Plus, I tried to swap there, but I'll shield back. I've basically 3 answers for Gliscor here, so it's not too much of an issue. So... this is a good matchup because, like, the hexes are... I mean, not that hex does a lot, but getting to the Shadow Balls is decent. They have to get to a Moonblast here. It may be worth the shield. I mean, you can live it with... I was about to say, you can live it with ease. So that Jellicent is great. Let's talk about the strengths of all of these Pokemon in this meta. Again, Swampert is... I really hope they don't nerf Swampert. But man, Swampert is just so OP in every league, right? So obviously it has a dominant matchups against, like I mentioned, Galarian Stunfisk, Registeel, stuff like that. But then just even in neutral matchups, good catch on the Trevenant here. Even in neutral matchups, it's just like Hydro Cannon does like 50% to most things if it takes neutral, right? So it's just so good. It charges so fast. So, and Earthquake's also a nuke too. So if they're eventually going to nerf this Pokemon, which I don't think they will. They've already taken Hydro Cannon away nerfed it once before. I think the issue is you can't really do it again because there's also other Pokemon like Samurott and Blastoise and others that have Hydro Cannon and Empoleon and stuff like that. They're already niche, so you can't really take theirs away. So you have to attack Mudshot or Earthquake. So I think you could attack Mudshot because that also hurts Galarian Stunfisk, which will change the meta up a bit. So you could go after Mudshot, or you could go after Earthquake because Earthquake is such a hard-hitting move, and you would just hurt Swampert, Galarian Stunfisk also, and then like a bit of Wall Rain with their Earthquake, and I'm sure others have Earthquake too that Gliscor a little bit. So Earthquake's a little tougher because you got a lot of Pokemon that you can affect there, as opposed to Mudshot is not as many. So maybe they'll nerf that. Jellicent, like I said, once it picked up Surf, it picked up like 8 matchups. Umbreon is not one of them, right? You're just going to lose to Pure Dark. You're going to lose to like Trevenant, Ghost. I'm trying to think what other Ghost. Giratina is tricky. It's pretty spammy, but you're also pretty hard hitting and tanky. I have to look up the matchup there. But yeah, so Darks are going to be a problem. Other Ghosts are going to be a problem. But other than that, I mean Grass, but that's just that's water weakness, right? But Hex and Shadow Ball is a good move. Surf is such a nice pickup. You can just spam those Surfs in neutral situations too if you can't get to the Shadow Ball. And Shadow Ninetales is an interesting one because like that last resort. I'm just going to farm down. Hopefully, no, I couldn't even get there. So I already took one last resort to get to there. Looks like I'm going to let this one go too. So that's 2 last resorts from an Umbreon, which Umbreon is not a hard-hitting Pokemon. And so 2 last resorts take me down to the deep yellow. So that is pretty rough. So obviously you're adding the bonus of the shadow damage in and giving up some some health. Scrafty, this is probably bad because they're just going to ramp up here. So A9's interesting. I'm not saying it's a must build by any means necessary. Well, if we go look at my top videos, I do think that you kind of need an ice for Ultra League, but what I'm saying is I don't think it needs to be A9. I think you are fine with Walrein or Aurorus, is it? Yeah, good catch by me. I think you're fine with Walrein or Aurorus. Again, I think you need an ice just because... Oh, good undercharge. Can I get to move? I can. That's a pretty good game there. Which I don't comment on my games. After like 1 or 2 games, I'm like, okay, let's talk about the team and other stuff here. Again, because this is why you need ice. There's flyers. There's Pidgeot is the main one. There's Giratina in here. There's Trevenant and Virizion. So there are a lot of Pokemon that you will do pretty well with as an ice type Pokemon. So I do think that ice is needed, but I don't think you need to spend... God, this one, because it's Shadow, cost me like 320 some odd XL. Like, I don't think you need it. I think you could just go Aurorus or Walrein, quite honestly. They play a little bit of a different role. Like, both Aurorus and Walrein are weak to fighting, as opposed to here, which your fairy neutralizes fighting. So that's a pro. And, I mean, you pick up like a poison weakness, but there's not a ton of poison right in Ultra League. So your typing, why I think it's probably ranked slightly higher, is your typing's better. Powder Snow, Weather Ball is very spammy. I was going to say Powder Snow and Icicle Spear is just as spammy, so it's not that. And they have Weather, as well as I think Aurorus has Powder Snow, Weather Ball too, so it's not like you're out spamming them here. And then Dazzling Gleam is a pretty good second move. I mean, Earthquake is also a good second move, and Meteor Beam is now also a great second move, right? So yeah, you don't need to build it. It's fun if you want to try and build it, but it's not a must by any means necessary. Swampert is a must. Swampert is a must. Jellicent in the Ultra League, I think Jellicent's getting close to being a must. I don't think it's like it's a go build it right this second sort of thing, but it's getting there anyways. Cobalion. And yeah, that's basically the team. I also... Did I put the Umbreon in here? I don't think I put the Umbreon in. I also tried... so again, this team is like level 49 Jellicent, level 49 A9 and then a Swampert. So again, you don't need Shadow for Swampert. I just like the extra damage there. A9 I just talked about as replacements. I also used... Because I think this was the issue right here that I also tried. This is why I tried... Umbreon. Well, I mean, Umbreon still faces weakness. I tried a couple of things because I think Registeel was a bit of a problem. And I'm like, because you're weak, you're like A9 has no matchup, and then here you're gonna get hit with a Zap. It won't take you out, but like, and if they lower your attack, you're just like like a loss, and then I have to give them Swampert, and if they have a Registeel, they have an answer to Swampert. So it's weak that way. So I tried Umbreon, thinking you still need an answer to Trevenant if you have a Swampert in the back. So I thought Umbreon does sort of leave the same sort of weaknesses here, right? Because you like Registeel still need a problem with its Focus Blast, and then you don't have like amazing matchup in the back against like Scrafty's kind of tricky already as it is. So like getting a Scrafty ramped up would be really rough for like Swampert and Umbreon combined. So then I also just try. I think Giratina Altered is still a good option, because Giratina Altered basically plays the same thing except it's spammy, and it will help you with the Registeel matchup if you run Hex and Shadow Claw. So I think those three could act as a safe swap for a team like this. But that is basically it as we let the last few battles play out here. And yeah, we will keep this season going. I'm looking at the schedule here. I'm hoping there's got to be a move update. There has to be a move update. I cannot go another season just like this. I'm getting not only am I getting bored, I'm getting like, not, I guess frustrated and bored are sort of the same thing with the meta, where it's like I'm trying to bring new teams for you guys, and I'm trying to use new Pokemon, but it's very difficult to use new Pokemon and new teams because sort of like non-meta teams are not working for me. So I've got to at least go with like 1 or 2 meta Pokemon. But then it's like you're going with like the same sort of combo of like I did A9 and Swampert, both Great League and Ultra League. I've used Swampert hundreds of times. Like it's just, yeah, it's just I'm getting sick of this league. I think people are too. But it's interesting as we're on the random thoughts in my mind portion of the video. I think moving forward, GBL is going to be less important, and it's going to go more towards the live tournament play as what's actually important. Because what I've been seeing is every time there is a regional, like Pokemon play regional, like the entire community, GBL community, is like at least got half an eye on it, just to see like what's going on, who's making it, who's not making it, stuff like that. And the problem with it, what I'm finding right now is, and I've had this discussion with like Rise and a bunch of those guys already, is right now it seems to be like you go to one if it's in your region. Otherwise, it's just the main people traveling and go, and like, so it's like Rise and a bunch of others in every single tournament, which is fine because those guys actually take it seriously, and they put a lot of time and effort into the game, and they are probably like the best anyways, right? It's not surprising that like Tho and Rise and others, Emmy Weedle and stuff like that, have been like the top in multiple tournaments multiple times, right? So it makes sense that these guys are going to more than one, but it's just like I wish I had, as bad as I did in Toronto, like I enjoyed it and I would love to play more, but I'm only going to play if it's in like a 5-hour vicinity drive of me. So Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, maybe if New York, I don't know when this is going up, maybe if New York is announced for Go Fest, I'll go to that, even though most of the in-person events for Niantic has been pretty rough. Anyways, that is it. Let me know in the comments below if you run anything unique in Ultra League. Because I was looking at it, and it's just like a lot of Pidgeots, Trevenants, Giratinas, Creselias, Scrafties. And it's just like, I want something that's fun, but it also doesn't get destroyed. So if you have that Pokemon, let me know, because I would love to try it out. Anyways, That's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.